Ring of Honor member Sean Alexander. So I thought that'd be a cool theme to represent Sean there with the big 37. And when I was quite a bit younger now, I remember watching Sean Alexander play, and for you younger Seahawks fans, the guy was so smooth. Everything you hear about that guy is true. He could run with power. He was extremely smooth when he got the football. Yes, it helps he had Walter Jones and these legendary players, but I still think Sean Alexander is very underrated in the grand scheme of history of running backs in the NFL. So right now, this is a huge week for Seattle. I know it was great that we got Arizona. We beat Arizona, and that 10-point win seems like it could have been a 14 to 20-point win, but that's in the past now. What I'm really looking forward to this week is Seattle taking on, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Germany. A lot of travel time. A really exciting environment where there's, we were mentioning in the stream last night, there's a lot of fans of the Seahawks in Germany, in Europe in general, and obviously a lot of fans of Brady and probably the Bucks as well. So that's going to be a really awesome environment. So shout out to anybody who gets to go to that game in Germany. One thing I really want to say about this game coming up here is we should not actually underestimate Tampa Bay, obviously. Just the factor of Brady, and where he's trying to be right now and what he's trying to prove. That's never an easy win against just the legendary Tom Brady himself, who will be looking for ways to improve a point against the hot Seattle Seahawks. You got to watch out for a player like Tom Brady, even at his age. But I do think it will be very difficult for Tom Brady to come out against Seattle, even with his quick release style of game that he's playing right now. I do expect him to get some momentum going in the game, but I do think if we can keep the pass rush going and the secondary plays sound and just keeps their assignment, this will be a big, big win for Seattle and will really ultimately finally shift that NFL narrative. And I've been saying that if Seattle gets to 7 wins and by week 10, or 7 wins by week 12 and has a winning record, they're going to be definitely considered in that top 10 for Super Bowl contenders. And this is just a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. So for this live stream, I want this live stream to really be focused on what our thoughts are and just us to kind of wake up out of this haze that we're in right now, and look at the reality of the Seahawks. Let's look at the holes in the team, what needs to be done. I'm not saying in the offseason anymore. We saw some really, really cool things in this last game. I can't even pronounce Homeboy's name. I need to remember his name, but we saw that rookie, undrafted free agent, come in at linebacker. Inajogu, I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, I should have looked that up and researched that. He played really well. So this linebacker, he can play obviously special teams, but he can play edge too, and seems to be quite a sound tackler, end-to-end tackler. Seahawks continue to find gems and promote players from within, believe in their players, even if their players are injured and coming off injury. Ryan Neal, these types of guys, and these young rookie players continue to make splash plays at the highest level. And this turnaround can only be contributed to the entire team's mentality, the mentality of the Seahawks as a whole from the top down. And this organization is beautiful right now. They are giving players chances. They are believing in the people that they have in their system, bringing in veterans like Bruce Irvin alone, and believing in the culture. We have resuscitated the excitement and the culture, and I really wasn't planning on going to a game this year in the fall, to be honest, but I try to. Just in recent years I haven't gone. I used to go to about 3 or 4 games a season. This year, I cannot resist it. I have to be part of this season in the flesh at Lumens, because I need to just say, like, I've been to all the pivotal seasons, not any of those championship games per se, but I need to go to one of these games and just say that I was there for this season, because regardless of what happens, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm so thrilled. Maybe I'm gonna check out the Jets. Maybe we'll go check out the Jets there on New Year's Day. That could be really, really dope. Sauce Gardner versus Woolen. I like that matchup. I like everything about that game, and that could have big implications that game, depending on where we are. So we got three people in the chat. Let's see who's in here. You mad, bro? Go Hawks. This is my fam here. Says, sup, my internet's been in and out lately, but I'm here and I'm watching the Kraken game, but I'm listening. Yo, shout outs to the Kraken. Um, yeah, man, it's exciting to have hockey in Seattle. And if people aren't fans of hockey, I wasn't a big fan of hockey until I went and saw it live. This won't be a hockey stream, but you will appreciate hockey on another level if you see it live. That's all I really got to say about that. And, as Seattle sports fans in general, we just love it. We got 5 people in the chat, 6 people in the chat now. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I want to talk football, man. I want to talk about the Seahawks. I got a lot to say about the Seahawks, as usual. Rewatched the game again, watched a lot of highlights, watched a lot of the media narrative around the Seahawks, and you can see, like I told you guys, as you've been following my channel, if you've been following from the beginning, I'm trying to make this channel kind of like, from its inception, an actual kind of like chronological, sequence of what's happened to this team at the beginning of the year, because the beginning of this Seahawks season is almost like a rebirth of an era. So it was kind of a cool time to start the channel, because you got like the new era Seahawks, and I just wanted to bring it in, and I did not think this was going to happen to this degree, guys. I am Seahawks Prime. I did think that this team was going to be way better than expected, but I could not have even come close to predicting the excitement level that the Seattle Seahawks are giving to the rest of the NFL. Like, people want to watch our games now. They need to flex some of these games into prime time. But this is a big, big thing, this Germany game. It's monumental for the sport. Just the people over there that really love this sport. It's becoming really awesome because they get to see Tom Brady in likely his last season, maybe. But they also get to see an upstart Seahawks, which are exciting, young, vibrant, and energetic team. And once again, I'm not surprised by any outcome in this game. My preface to this game is that it's just going to continue to roll. The defense will continue to roll. This will be one of their bigger tests. I believe this will be a bigger test of, being able to keep your assignment than even against Arizona with a scrambling Kyler Murray, because Tom is really able to analyze film and look for what those holes in the defense could be. And I don't think there's going to be much over the top for Tom at this stage. He's not going to be able to scramble, but they will try to do things to scheme guys open and try to take advantage of the very hungry Seahawks. So they're going to try to play on our aggressiveness. So if we can just be sound in this game, get Tom on his backside, and just really, really get a couple turnovers in this game. And they don't have a run game very much, but we got to just watch for sneaky stuff. They've got that type of coaching staff, which will try to get really tricky. They're going to try to get under our skin. They're going to try to get under these young players' skin and force them into mistakes, force them into pass interferences, things like that. It's way more of a chess match for them, because I think they do believe their coaching staff is smart enough to know that they are outmatched right now by speed. This is the game. I want to see DK Metcalf take over. On this stage, this international stage, I believe this will be, I'm not sure. Obviously, Walker, it's going to be a big game for Walker. Fant has emerged now. But I think this game will be a DK Metcalf type of game, because I want to see them kind of showcase our best weapon. Maybe Ken and him are a toss-up. But I want to see, us establish the run game and go to some play action and kind of shock this team, because their corners may have a lot of difficulty against Metcalf if that knee is okay and he's able to keep the speed. But that's going to be really, really exciting. I'm looking forward to watching it. Just on 3K1D, you were here last night. Thank you for coming back, brother. Bowling. I'm planning on going to the Jets or the Rams game for sure, bro. And like I said, if I go to one of these games, I'm going to do like a meet and greet kind of hangout function on First Ave or something, and I'll announce that so anybody that's in the Washington area can come and we can just meet up and just hang out and spend some time before the game and just talk football, whatever you're into. I think I should really do that, and I would like to do that with you guys. Lindsay Edelman says, love the Hawks. He says, love the Hawks. Love Geno Smith and Tyler Lockett. Yeah. Lindsay, are you from Germany, bro? Are you from Munich? I gotta ask you, man. A name like Edelman, that's definitely from around that area. I gotta ask you, man. That's dope if you're from there. I thought we looked great last game. You mad, bro? Go Hawks says. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if we can get some more people in the chat here. Make sure to like. I thought we looked great last game. This game, I don't even think it's going to be close. It could be a rout. Absolutely. You know what? Tom Brady has done such crazy things in his career, and we feel like, okay, always watch out for him. But that team right now is having a hard time putting up over 14 points. They're really, really actually having a hard time. None of their receivers are 100% at all. You know, when Tom is forcing balls to Scotty Miller, like on out routes, I mean, in fade routes type stuff, you know that means that Godwin and them are not 100%. Maybe they get better by the time they play, but the travel time, all of that stuff, I think that's a team that's kind of out of rhythm right now, and this could be the stage where the Seattle Seahawks could really take advantage and boat race the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and if they do that, then they're going to start looking at us in a really different light. Not only by record, a 7-3 Seahawks coming off of beating Tom Brady in a big game in Germany would really, really set the stage for quite what is already a miraculous season. We did a lot of score predictions yesterday night. Everyone was like 32 to 14, 35 to 10 type things for Seattle, but it could get really messy. It could, if the pass rush is getting home and the run stop is dominant, and we start getting sharky because we know they can't run, and we start, balls start popping up. This could be really dangerous for them if we're unleashing stuff, because the Seahawks have managed to stay very healthy this season because they are managing players right, and the depth of the team is underrated as well. We have personnel to come in and play key positions, spelling guys. The rotation is nice. People are looking fresh. Part Italian and part German. Yeah, shout outs to you. But I'm saying, are you in Europe? You don't have to tell me that or whatever. But I was just wondering if you actually were from over there or if you're from the West. No big deal. Nobody has to tell me nothing like that. That's all good. But a boat race would be awesome. It'd be awesome to see Seattle really just dominate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on all phases of the game. And I want to see some more of the unleashing of the weapons we have. Now, I would love to see us. Here's one reason I would really love the Seahawks to get way out in front and have a lead is not only to rest some players, like getting some extra rest going into the bye. Like if we can get into that fourth quarter, and I think Pete will try to do that. I mean, win the game first and foremost. But if it gets to that point where Seattle is really just dominating the game, we get to see some of these young players. Yeah. So far from Germany, but shout out to Tennessee, best barbecue in the world, hands down, point blank, period. Tennessee. If we can get to a point where we're dominating that game in all phases, and we can see some of these players get snaps. I want to see Drew Lock out there in Germany. I want to see Let Drew Brew in Germany, home of Oktoberfest. Drew Brew. I want to see that get to that point where Drew's out there throwing to Derek Young. They're using young players. That's where I want to see this team get to be so dominant that they are bringing in players and getting snaps to young players and backup players. And that would be just so gratifying to see that, and so good for our depth and our personnel. So just some kid, 3D kid says, Tom Brady's still second in passing yardage. He'll find a way to light up our weak spots in coverage. I mean, there's definitely that possibility. I want to say that. Like, you guys sense that on me? Shout outs Bremerton. Yeah, you said that yesterday, I believe. Now, shout outs Bremerton. I want to say that Tom Brady will find his occasional spot in coverage. But look at Kobe Bryant, and let's talk about Kobe Bryant right now. Kobe Bryant, it's been comical how unfortunate he's been in certain situations. A pick and a forced fumble were easily in the question, easily in the realm of happening for Kobe last game. So is it really easy just to find soft spots in coverage against the Seattle Seahawks? It used to be like you could dink and dunk on us and just do comebacks and stuff. DeAndre Hopkins couldn't do it, man, with Kyler Murray, bro. I'm really thinking about that. I watched that. DeAndre Hopkins, man, who is still one of the best athletes and best receivers in the NFL, was not able to get open. He could not get open. So if you can run crossing routes and pick plays, and we don't pick it up and we blow a coverage on the crossing route, it seems like the only way you can score on Seattle right now is by utilizing that play. But digs, routes, and stuff like that, digs and stutter goes, and and fades and big go routes and big post routes, it's not in your best interest to throw those unless you know you have the player beat. But which player is beat over the top? Michael Jackson is fast. I think Brady will test him, but that might be a problem. You know what I mean? Coming up underneath against Kobe Bryant, like consistently, might be a problem for you. Like, it's not a sure bet. Those guys are getting better and better every single week, and they're studying out of their mind. These guys have watched everything, and you could tell when the game is on. You can tell that these guys know where to be and they're confident. And the few mistakes we're making are just kind of freak turnovers and things that you can correct. So teams are not marching the ball easily and scoring on Seattle at all. And I don't see it letting up. They're not giving up when they have a lapse and a mistake happens. And the defense has found their legs. It's there. It's no longer do they have to prove to me any of that. There's so many reasons. The pass rush is getting home, and every single player is still playing their hearts out, like they're trying to make this team. It's like watching professional NFL players with the energy of a college team, a university team. Everybody is brothers. You see on Seahawks media, Seahawks Instagram, Seahawks everything, all of their Twitters, they're just talking about each other. Everyone's just giving each other so much props, and it's so dope to see that, man. It's so cool to see just what seems like a complete, family atmosphere. I don't know if even the LOB team had that level of camaraderie at every position, like as a total unit, as a total complete team. Like LOB was clearly together and bonded, but now we kind of know that there was certain types of division and favoritism that went on in different groups of that team. This team feels like Nick Ballore could hang out with Abraham Lucas, and Tariq Woolen could hang out with Michael Dixon, and Michael Jackson could hang out with Brian Monet, and it's just amazing, man, and it's just so cool. 10 people in the chat. Thank you. Welcome to everybody. It seems like it's picking up in here. We're just getting started here. I'm going to do a real stream tonight here. You Matt Bro says he used to live in Bremerton. Yeah, shout out Washington State. You know what it is. You Matt Bro says all rookies balling out. They ain't looking like rooks, and Uchenna is killing it. Uchenna Nwosu, I brought this up last night. Uchenna Nwosu is ranking out as one of the best defensive players in the NFL. Some guys have a beat in sacks. I went over this yesterday. Matthew Judon, he's going crazy. But then when you get to the next tier, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, when you get into that tier there, then I start to look at Uchenna Nwosu's stats outside of just sacks. Uchenna Nwosu is stopping the run. He's forcing fumbles. He's tackles for loss. He's setting the edge. He's getting Boye Mafe open. And when Darryl comes back, and mark my words, when Darryl comes back here, this defense could get extremely scary when Darryl comes back. Because Darryl did have a rough start, but I was never out on Darryl Taylor. I just knew he had to find what this defense was, and Uchenna Nwosu has really been good. But I think I look at Uchenna Nwosu kind of like I look at Michael Jackson. He was buried behind other great players on other teams, and he just couldn't crack the roster. Uchenna Nwosu was kind of getting snaps like Darryl Taylor was when he was playing for the Chargers. Now, the Seahawks gambled as like, is Uchenna Nwosu, is he a starting caliber player? Wow, are they reaping the benefits? Now, if Uchenna Nwosu will continue this, and he's not going to stop because he's on a mission from God, it seems like this defense is just going to keep rallying and just going to keep improving. But I really want, you loved Darryl Taylor last year. I'm telling you right now, just some kid, I'm telling you, I've obsessed about Darryl Taylor's abilities because coming into the season, we all thought he was going to be the marquee every down rusher. That's just not who he is, and that's okay. But if Darryl Taylor can become just a lethal Von Miller type threat on certain down and distances, man, it's going to be perfect because now we have Bruce and those guys to set the edge, and really he doesn't have to worry about setting the edge and getting blown up in the run. So yes, he's going to be there on passing downs and stuff, but we can really load sides of the field. So if there's a weak right tackle, and a weak guard, it's over for that team. If there's two weak offensive linemen, this is kind of football 1-on-1, like a 1-on-1. You got a dominant left tackle there. You're gonna try to attack that side of the field with your best You know what I mean? But what Seattle can do now, just with the diversity and the amount of people that can attack the quarterbacks, and they've been reserving these DB blitzes and stuff like that. Look for that in this game. We're gonna start. If we smell blood in the water and we see that those guards are having a hard time, and these outside tackles are having hard times for teams like Tampa Bay with a non-mobile QB, you got to be more careful when you're playing Kyler Murray because he can scamper for 80. You know what I mean? But Tom Brady's not scampering at all. So you just got to control that. If you just feel the game out a little bit and see what type of protections they're calling for Tom, which are obviously going to be very obvious because they don't want him holding on to the ball at all or trying to really even find guys deep throughout the game. And you don't have play action to go off of to sting us because we don't have to respect play action. It's going to be very interesting to see if Tom is going to be able to put up enough points by throwing those intermediate passes, which he's a master of doing. So I'm really excited to see that if Seattle overloads one side with Boye, with Chetta, and bring some blitzes with Kobe, and bring some blitzes with Mike Jackson. And, I'm waiting for this one, though, which we saw early, I think we saw earlier in the season, but Tariq Woolen to come off the edge and just sneak up, sneak up and just dart, beeline it straight for Tom Brady. He better have that ball out because I think I'm going to call it right now, guys, and try to remember that I'm saying this. Tom Brady's going to there's going to be 2 forced fumbles on Tom Brady in this game. I don't know if we recover the ball, but at some point in time, when Tom commits to throwing, other than the tuck stuff, you know what I mean, that he's gonna pull the trigger. And I believe that you have Tom with that quick, Tom's gonna hit you like this. He's gonna try to read the coverages. Klinghurt's gonna disguise them. We're not gonna flinch. We're not gonna move. We're not gonna show any sort of blitz. Tom's gonna just try to drop back and find somebody, right? But what the issue with that against this Seahawks team is there is coverage downfield at every single level now. So you can't just throw at Quandre Diggs without knowing where he is. You can't just throw at Tariq Woolen without knowing where he is. You can't just throw at Mike Jackson without knowing where these guys are on the field. Tom knows that. So he's going to be like, say hut, and he's just going to try to gun it, right? So that's not going to be more than a 20-yard pass, right? So if Seattle can just kind of gauge that, that metric of where the levels that they're going to try to attack the field, this game could be a rout. And that is not me taking anything away from Tom Brady or his legacy or even trying to say anything about his age or anything about the extracurricular stuff happening in his life because he's a machine. But just from a raw football perspective, it doesn't feel like you can beat the Seahawks right now without making huge explosive plays on a consistent level and getting turnovers against us in our end of the field. They do have a good defense, but I do not like the matchups for them, specifically the fact that the emergence of Noah Fant in this last game, and I can't wait to look at the all 22 of that, but Noah Fant is that good. And man, it wasn't just that one play. Like, he's consistently getting open, and now Geno has trust in him. So look at teams that are just dominant with just a very dominant tight end. This is nothing against Kobe and Will, who are some of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Yes, I do play fantasy. We can get into that later. But Noah Fant can be a true move TE, like a top 10 move TE. And if we can start utilizing him like they utilize Travis Kelce, oh my God, man, I'm telling you, that is like the secret to just maybe making a run, because Fant is that humble, that talented, and that gifted that if he is starting to be something that you have to account for, and we're getting him one-on-one with linebackers, I don't care if that linebacker is Devontae White or whatever have you, Devin White. That's Noah Fant is a bad matchup for any linebacker or any safety or any corner, like any player. But they've been using him only on those drags. But if we start actually throwing to Fant on routes like they do with Travis Kelce, he's so fast, man. Exactly, Chewy. If we start doing that, and I think they've had this in the book, and it hasn't been any. Fant's been comfortable because he knows his time's coming. Waldron is creating this masterpiece where he's bringing waves and introducing new waves of the playbook to people week to week, and that's why we're dominating. You can't look at the tape against Seattle. If Tampa is studying what Seattle did against Arizona, it's not going to work for them. What Seattle's going to do to you the next week is totally different, because Waldron's book is deep, man. Waldron's book is deep, like, man, we could do all sorts of metaphors, like Leviathan. It's deep, like, trying, when you're a teenager and you first go out with your boys and girls, and you're trying to figure out the meaning of life. That's how deep the Waldron playbook is, and we're just scratching the surface. But yes, I want to see Noah Fant used, and really pull attention away from Metcalf and Lockett, and Ken Walker underneath. You saw the wrinkles in the passing game to Ken Walker. That was by design. They want people to look at things. Football is a chess match. It's not even just about like tricking your next opponent. It's about seeing what you can set up way in the distant future if you keep getting further and further, so that when you get to that pinnacle game, that really big game that pushes you up to an NFC Championship game, people haven't seen all of your book. But yeah, let's keep the Fant thing rolling, because once they start paying attention to them, they miss out on Will. Will leaks out. When they start, it's amazing. It's amazing what could be done here, and we haven't even scratched the surface of this playbook yet. Let me get into some of the talk here with you guys, and let's get interactive. Let's talk about this. Hope we see Trey Brown get some reps in Germany this week. Yeah, like, I'm following that there. I love Trey Brown as a player, as a person. He looked really happy in the Seahawks media and stuff like that. He looks like he's ready to go. At least get his feet underneath him. You add Trey Brown to the fold here. You've got yet another cover corner, slot corner. He can play outside corner. You just get more and more rotation and more and fresher legs deeper into the game, because you can do different things when you have Trey Brown now. Now you can run different types of defenses. You know what I mean? Trey Brown is a small guy, but man, can he really tackle, and he's like glue. So Trey Brown is easily as talented as Michael Jackson. You can start doing things. You can start getting really loose. And what does that mean? You can start dropping slot corners into coverage. When you have so many people with that much ability and ball skills, you can get really creative, and you can start tricking offenses and then putting them on their heels, and you start getting interceptions and turnovers and forcing people to tuck the ball and take sacks. It works both ways. Clint Hurtt said at a great press conference in the beginning that it's not just one or the other with secondary and D-line. It's complementary. Okay. Also, do you think? Let me go back up here. Chewy said Fant is so fast. Let me backtrack here. Wow, you guys were dropping gems in here. So that's the Trey Brown question from Dave Davenport. What's up, Dave? Thanks for asking that great question or making that statement. I do think Trey gets some minutes here. Uchenna having a career year. You mad, bro? Absolutely. That guy got at a very good deal for Seattle at this point in time. I mean, a top 10 defensive player, not even a pass rusher. He's a top 10 player in the NFL right now on the defensive side of the ball, period. There's no one else I would rather have right now, probably. What do you think? James Watson says, also, do you think Pete should limit K9's carries come week 16, save them for the playoffs? They will ease them in if we start, just get there first. So I want to see K9 keep rocking for his potential. Like, don't hurt him. But this K9, it's really hard to hit him. So he kind of keeps himself healthy. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's pivotal. I don't want to see them, overplay K9. He's still a rookie. So the hits that he's taken at this level are a little different. But he was kind of a one-man army in Michigan. But he's so good at avoiding the big hit. You know what I mean? He's like, he just goes down perfectly. You know what I mean? I won't jinx that. But yeah, they'll ease him in. And we got good running backs, man. We got Homer, we got Dallas. Those guys can block too, so you don't necessarily know what those guys are going to do when they're in a game. Yeah, I do play fantasy. So Motive says Mike Jackson, is a big hitter. He really can smack people, man. He's really special that way. I do play fantasy. I'm having an abysmal year right now in my in one of my work leagues there. Maybe we'll do a stream for fantasy football sometime. But that's not really what. There's so many channels on that, but we can talk about that. I'll probably do my own stream, a different stream for that. Maybe start another thing that we can talk fantasy football, because I have been playing that for over 15 years. Chuy Suarez, my guy, says, what do you think about the Seahawks playing the Chiefs on Christmas Eve later in the year? I think that's phenomenal. I'm really looking forward to that game. That's a lot of high-powered offense, a lot of speed. Mahomes is a guy who can escape pretty much any defense and make throws downfield. So that will be our biggest test, I believe. Absolutely. Tampa Bay is, Dave Davenport says, Tampa Bay is the last in offensive rush yards, yes, per game. Looks like we could add a guy to coverage since they are very good in packs. Correct. So that guy could be Trey Brown. We could drop people in. That's the thing is we can play dime. We can play NASCAR. We can play anything. We can play all sorts of zones. We're really got a lot of diversity in personnel, and that's going to be key because with all these different types of players, you can do things. If they try to go empty sets and just come out and attack us and play Cameron Braid or whoever, I don't even know who's healthy. I got to analyze that. We can get busy, and you don't want to go 3-0 too early against Seattle because when we get the possession, we can play the time of possession game. We don't have to score on you in under 3 minutes of drive. Like we can drag out a drive on you basically on purpose, and that is something you got to be wary of because if you're going 3-and-out and your defense is on the field all the time because you're too pass happy, Pete Carroll loves that. That has worked for Pete Carroll more than anything. That's what he wants you to do. He wants you to try to pass on him consistently. He wants to get you off the field fast after he scores on like a 6-7 minute drive, and then on the next drive he might hit you quick. So it's scary. And you know what, Pete is just he's given the reins to these guys. He's finally trusting these guys to do his thing. Valerie, are you going to Germany? Shut up. No, just kidding. We are going to Germany as a family, as a unit. Valerie McDougall, one of my good friends here that I met here on the Seahawks Times. Just a real, true football fan, and really knows her stuff about the Seahawks. So, check out the comments from Valerie on the channel. Amazing stuff. And she's a little bit different like me in the sense of how offside she gets with it. James Watson, imagine us getting a first week bye and home field advantage with a pack house. You would not want to play the Seahawks at home in Lumen Field in a season which nobody expected us to even have a winning record, let alone 5 games, with a fully healthy team. Oh my goodness, man. You come in there, you're going to have a hard time. Absolutely. You won't be able to hear anything. And I would be in the building for that, absolutely. So great point. That got me excited. Thank you so much for breaking that down. Winter South, I haven't seen you here before. What's up, Winter South? Good to see you in here. I think Chiefs and Bills are the only team that can beat us. Yeah, and you know what? I wouldn't be betting hundreds of dollars against, Seattle if the Chiefs or the Bills were playing us at all. We can do it all right now. We can play in bad weather. We can play in good weather. We can play on turf. We can play on grass. We can go to the pass. We can go to the run. We can go to tight ends. We can go bootleg. We can go play action. We do everything. We got the best tight end click in the league. It sucks that Penny went down, but we do have still the most daunting RB right now. If it's not Christian McCaffrey, who would you rather have at running back right now? I mean, let's talk about that. Derrick Henry, sure. Derrick Henry's awesome. But I still don't know if that is enough for me to convince me that I wouldn't want to have Ken Walker because Ken Walker's 22 years old yesterday. Derrick Henry, an awesome legend, but he's 30, and yeah, he can rumble a game down and stuff like that. But Ken can really shift a game. Derrick, those guys are special. I would take Ken over Jonathan Taylor for sure at this stage. I would take Ken over Nick Chubb. I would take Ken Walker. It sounds homerism, but I can just see his trajectory right now. If Ken Walker looks this good now, what's he going to look like towards the end of the season when it gets cold out and he's used to running in those conditions, having played in Michigan State and the Big Ten? The snow's not going to slow him down. The rain's not going to slow him down. The mud's not going to slow him down. It's just going to be a nightmare when defenses are tired. And a guy like Ken is just so committed. He's in such good shape and has such good endurance. Man, it could get wild for that guy, man. We might see some record-breaking stuff for a rookie. Like I said, those first couple games with Rashard starting might hurt his overall trajectory of numbers, but he's breaking all the Seahawks numbers right now for a rookie player. He's up there with Kurt Warner right now already at this stage in the season, and we still got a whole bunch of games left, right? We still have, majority of the game. We got a lot of games left. So, not majority, but we got at least 8 games. So it seems like he's going to be the offensive rookie of the year if he stays healthy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. But we can also use him in games as a decoy a lot too, right? And that's what's so exciting about it. Players they're going to key in on Ken Walker so much that all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, these guys still have Tyler Lockett on their team. That sucks. And then DK, like patellar tendon DK or whatever, who now only runs 4.35 or something because of his on one leg, is going to destroy a bad corner. And you know what I did? I looked at our schedule that we had here over the course of the last games here. These last 9 games, and Seattle has played some really marquee defensive players on the outside. They really have, and Seattle's gotten really creative at scheming their receivers open. Sanjay Law, they got a really cool click. But once we come up against that really bad secondary, whatever it is, due to injury, I look at the game like the Raiders, like, ooh, that could get super messy. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's how I feel about that. Wintercell says Kenneth Walker was a big steal. I was hoping Eskridge starts playing good too. Yeah, I was mentioning that yesterday. I really want them to continue to develop Eskridge, keep him confident, keep him involved. But they're using him kind of like as a decoy a bit right now. Teams know about his speed, so they're really trying to man him up. They like when you see them try to get on D, they try to man him up and bully him off the LOS. But once we start, really breaking this thing open, I do think D is going to be a part of it. I am that person that is pro Eskridge. I do think that D Eskridge has extreme talent, and if they didn't think he could do things, they wouldn't have him on the field. So he's not being a liability at all anymore. He's now blocking well, and he's a sneaky, powerful little guy. So he can get lead blocking going on. But at one point in time, they're going to fake the handoff to Kenneth Walker, and D. Eskridge will be somewhere over the top in the middle of that field, and nobody will be with him. And if Geno puts that ball on him, we as the Seahawks fans are going to go mental if D gets over a 30-yard TD or breaks one on the ground, because he's capable of doing it. Absolutely. What else is going on here? Tackman. Let me see what's going on here. We had a lot of comments there. So Jerome Patterson, what's good? Saw Tariq Woolen in person Sunday. The dude is special, 6'4". I feel he's a elite corner already. There is no question that there's no question, Jerome, and I know it's early, but I said in my first video that I obsess over cornerback play. If you guys are just newer to the channel, go back tonight and watch my first video ever on the channel. I'm a cornerback guy. The first couple videos, I love that position. It's the only thing I really dabbled in when I ever played any snaps in football. Tariq Woolen is an elite corner now, like right now, not tomorrow. Over the first 8 games of his career has proven, specifically lately, that he's a shutdown player. His closeout speed is never seen before. There's players that have had timing on closeout speed. Deion Sanders, Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman. But once he has elite the recognition and confidence in his closeout speed, that play that he knocked out of DeAndre Hopkins' hand is going to be a pick six. You're going to start seeing that happen more and more as Tariq's career develops. Mistakes cannot be made when you're throwing against Tariq Woolen, and I think he has an elite mind. And this is going to be very interesting. Give me a thumbs up if you've seen Tariq Woolen interviews. Give me a thumbs up or an okay if you've seen Tariq Woolen in post-game interviews. I want to see how many of you guys have noticed him in post-game. Quick, I'll get back to your other questions, guys. But yeah, give me a thumbs up if you've seen him talk and you've seen his demeanor in post-game. All right, just one. So I know more of you have seen it. He's very subtle. He's very calm. He talks very cool. He's just himself. So you have to think in the combine, a lot of people were like, man, this kid's just not that, well-spoken. He's very well-spoken, but he's slower. No, he's just from Texas. He's a really smart kid. But the way he talks and the way he carries himself, and he's just cool, and he's like humble, and he's like, shoot, like we just kind of were doing our thing. And he's very intelligent. But I think that had him slip in the draft compared to some guy that will talk your ear off and be like, very high-strung and high-spoken and outgoing and flamboyant, like the stereotypes of a corner are, like Rick and those types of guys, and Deion. You're thinking, maybe he just doesn't have that elite tenacity. But he only internalizes his passion on the football field. He's not about the talking, and that's the most dangerous player that could ever exist. is the type of player that uses football as his outlet to express himself, and that's what Tariq Woolen does. He's not about talking in the play, and that is something why people ask me why his draft, why he slipped to the fifth round in the draft. That is why he had meetings with teams, and they're like, "Oh, let's go with this kid from Ohio State because that kid talks, is from this program, and look at his, Man, I'm telling you, Tariq is elite right now, Jerome. Shout outs to you for bringing that up. I'm a big fan of Will, and I've been that way from the start. And yeah, Jerome, you see him in person. I can't imagine, man. That guy's just such a crazy athlete. Attackman Clan Club 187 says, I got to eat my words up on consistently criticizing John and Pete, but boy, was I wrong. And that's okay. And I give you so much love for saying that, because when it was time for me to eat crow on Geno Smith, because I wasn't negative about Geno Smith at all in the sense of him being a bad player. I just thought there was another type of upside for Drew. That's all I thought. I didn't think Geno was bad. I just thought he couldn't close out games. I eat that crow. I cooked up that crow that, eating at Geno's or whatever Top Billing has. I was happy to eat that crow because I've said this from the inception of my channel. If I'm wrong about something in the Seahawks and it means that we're a better team for it, I'm so happy to be wrong. I want to be wrong about Cody Barton. You know what I mean? I want to be wrong that he's a liability. I want to be wrong on that point because I like the person. I like the individual. This is not personal. You got to remember, we're armchair quarterbacks here. You know what I mean? I'm an armchair GM. I don't even have the nerve to step on a football field with these guys. Cody Barton is an undersized linebacker putting his head in the line of fire. Don't get it twisted when I talk about these guys that way. When I talk about Cody and say Cody is a liability, this does not mean I'm not saying he's not a good football player. I'm just saying that, there could be something that fits better for us in certain distances and downs, etc. But these are some of the best players in the world, even though we don't see it that way. I just feel like I think it's misconstrued sometimes. I'm not the football analyst that is bashing on these players at all. I don't bash on any of these guys. If they're good people and they play hard, I wish them well. If they're bad people and they do bad things, I don't support them even if they're great athletes. That's the type of person I am. That's the type of character I roll with on this channel, and just how I feel about it. But when it came to Geno, always thought he was a dope guy. Always thought he could be really, really like a cornerstone of his team. I just didn't think he would be at this level of a starting level player that is dominating the National Football League. It's awesome, man. Yeah, man. And ladies and gentlemen, it's so exciting. Happy to see you guys commenting in here, man. Kenneth Rock, so let's get back into more of this. That was a great comment, Tag Man. Daniel W says, I'm happy Tariq gave up that touchdown at the end of the zoning game. He probably going to practice that same route 50 times over with Noah Fant in practice and ready for Travis Kelce in a few weeks. Bro, that's the kind of stuff that I come to this channel for, man. It's like, that type of comment Daniel W makes is the reason I do this. It's not to get likes and not to get supers, and it's so that I can think about things that I didn't really think about. And you know it, man. He's gonna be like, even though it's garbage time, he's like, I'm never gonna let a tight end, when it's my turn to switch off, I'm not gonna get tricked again. You know what I mean? And exactly, the next time that route goes to Woolen, Woolen's gonna pretend like he didn't see it, and he's gonna run that route for Zach Ertz, and it's going to be a pick. Great comment there. Tackman says, I love how Seattle defense use more 3-3-5 nickel packages more often during the 4 weeks. Yes. So they've gone into a lot of different things. I think there was like cover 6. What else did we see? We saw a lot more nickel, but they're able to do a lot of different things. On the defensive side of the ball, it's really hard to tell where the pressure is going to come from, whether they're going to drop back, whether they're going to send 3, they're going to send 5. But, you just don't know. And you're Woolen is scaring quarterbacks now. He's scaring them. You know what I mean? They're only trying the comeback routes and they're only trying the crossing stuff. And then what's going to happen is, we're going to start seeing those crossing routes, and those players are going to start getting annihilated. They're going to start getting killed. Trying to do that over the middle stuff. The ball's gonna pop out, man. Mike Jackson is gonna kill somebody this year. I don't want to see it. I don't wish it upon him, but Michael Jackson is gonna read one of those crossing routes. He's gonna break off of his player. He's gonna switch off to Quandre Diggs, and he's going to put somebody, Spirit de Sante, whatever you believe in. Winter Cell says Tariq Woolen better than Sauce Gardner and Jalen Ramsey for real. Now, okay, sample size. Jalen Ramsey, got to give him his props. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been shut down. He's done his things. But Jalen Ramsey has always been exposed in certain times when he gets overzealous and he can give up a huge play. I haven't yet seen Tariq let anybody over the top for a big play. Not once. He's given up some stuff underneath. He got lost a little bit in coverage against Cortland Sutton in his first game. You saw him get lost a little bit in Detroit. They're in the red zone with the stuff, but I haven't seen. Lost isn't the word. Now that he can get his hips around, I haven't seen it because nobody's as fast as him. Nobody's as fast as him. You can't beat him over the top. If you do a double move and you have 3 yards of separation on, that's nothing to him. He eats that up in freaking 3-foot steps. It's insane. Never been seen before, guys. We're witnessing things that have never been seen before from a rookie class in NFL history, the history of the league. Willen's ceiling is really high. I don't know if Sauce can get any better. He is now, other than working on his tackling. Sauce could, because he could just be so dominant mentality that he just, gets more and more aggressive and gets more picks, but he doesn't have the physical ability of Tariq Woolen. Sauce is a more flashy type of personality too, right? He's loud. He dresses louder. He's a great guy. He's perfect quintessential corner, and I think he's perfect for the jet style, but Tariq is perfect for our style. They say Sauce is number 1 in man coverage, and, this and that, and they always want to say the man coverage thing, but I would like to see, Sauce get ISO'd up against, certain types of players throughout the back half of this season and see how that compares if Tariq played man. Because if Tariq played more man coverage, I think he'd have more interceptions, which is crazy to think about. Let's see what else is going on here. So imagine Jamal Adams coming back. His defense is looking good. Yeah, it already is, but Jamal will be back. Kai Nalu, what's up, my brother? See you on now. Wanted to say what's up, bro? Shout outs to you, man. Mahalo, my brother, for show. My guy Kai Nalu. Motive says crow, my favorite dish. Yeah, man. Serve it up on a platter, man. Give me some medium rare crow and raven if I have to, if it means that the Seahawks are going on a playoff run here. Michael Cam 10 says, Wes, buddy, I hope you're doing well. Stop by to see your stream and talk about the mighty Seahawks. You are welcome here, my friend. How have you been? Great to see you, man. I am doing great. I hope you're doing great as well. Kai Nalu says, that's cool that you admit that. Yeah, I'm happy to admit that, man. Because none of these analysts, I will never be that type of analyst that you see. I've seen so many all of a sudden, Colin Cowherd. I'm not calling these guys out. It's their job to spin narratives. You know what I'm saying? But calling all of a sudden the Seahawks are the team to beat. 5 weeks earlier they're like, this is the worst team in the league, the worst decisions that were ever made. This franchise is dying. This, that, and the other thing. And then 6 weeks later they want likes and they want views, so they tell you Seahawks are the team to beat. Gino is amazing and Carroll's a genius. It's man, just shut up. If you're a real fan of the team and you're that's what I am. I'm gonna call it like it is. I'm gonna see things like I see them at the time. And if I'm wrong about those things, I'm going to happily admit that. So people don't have to come onto my channel and go to my past videos way back and say, well, you weren't right about this or that, because I'm just calling it what I see at the time. That's all I'm trying to do, is what I see in front of me and how I think the team projects, because I'm really trying to be part of that kind of vibe that moves the team forward, not backwards, right? Winter Smith says, keep Gino. He's going to prove point, and he knows our system. Yeah, they're definitely going to pay him now. There's no way out of that. And they will draft a quarterback. They will. There's just too many in this class, but they won't be doing that first overall. They're going to add some defense to this team. The 13 personnel is fire. It is very fire. And you mad, bro? It's been a big theme of a lot of my videos, the tight ends and how they're using the tight ends. You just don't know where it's going to come from. It's not just the catching. You don't know where the blocks are going to come from, because you're able to pull these tight ends like another guard. So in the run game, you're able to pull. Damian Lewis is becoming a master puller for guard. But you're able to do that. Kobe, are we impressed with Kobe's blocking? Kobe Parkinson's blocking has just been amazing, top tier. He came in, we thought he'd be the skinny kind of weak guy, man. He put on crazy bulk, and now he's like a blocking master, and he catches everything that's thrown to him. And look for him to kind of get vertical a bit more in games and get sneaky. But this tight end stuff is really awesome. You can go trips tight ends, you can do whatever, and for all we say about DK not having as much target share, like he seems happier than ever, and he's still getting his and stuff like that, but he's not getting crazy tread on his tires and getting beat up or ran for no reason. Here we go. I got my homies in here for sure. I got lots of you in here. Woolen in action. Woolen is action for sure, Kai, for sure, bro. So James Watson says, I'm going to feel good seeing Tom curse on his O-line. He might be cursing the heavens, man, if Uchenna gets to him, but for sure. But you never know. The NFL's full of narratives. You can't get too crazy about what's going to happen in that game, and we got to stay level-headed. And I think as a fan base and that team is being very level-headed right now. Valerie McDougal says Tariq is silent assassin, that quiet kid that don't say much but watches everything and misses nothing, always observing and learning. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And like every once in a while, his Pee Wee football coach comes onto the comments, Valerie, and says like, yeah, man, like I think he commented once, it was like, this guy's always been this way, just like a steady, level-headed guy, and always been a freak athlete. I want to do an interview with that guy, actually, not to get into too deep or too personal about Tariq, but I want to ask that guy, like, if he saw that elite trait, or he just saw like the elite, like speed, or if he just knew that there was going to be something up with him. Shout outs to him. Just some 3K 1D bowling says, God, I love this team. We had one bad season. Everyone doubted us coming into the season. Now it looks like we'll be a top 10 team for years to come. And isn't that exciting? Like, we're talking about a lot of years to come. If you look at the youth and depth and the fact that we can still develop QBs. We have Geno Smith, who was a sub 33-year-old QB. You know what I mean? A lot of teams are trying to win with much older QBs. And it's looking really, really good. And tons of draft capital. And I will say this, all 12 of you in the chat, more and more free agents are going to want to come to Seattle now for how they treat Bruce Irvin, because the narrative was like, oh, they just let you go at the tail end. You know, Bobby and Russ had their reasons for leaving too. It wasn't a completely one-sided thing. They'll be the first to tell you that. But it's like, you know, it's one of those things. Valerie McDougal with the $10 super. Thank you so much, my sister. Had heated discussion. I say QB in round 1 or 2. Challenge Geno. If Geno win, prove Primo. QB learning his backup. He says QB in 6th or 7th round. If Geno got hurt, stuck with mediocre QB, what do you say? Okay, so I'm thinking, Val, that's an awesome question. And anyone who's commented before, Val, I'll get to you. Super chats are always a priority. That's just fair. And Valerie's my sister, and I love talking football with her. So let's air this out. And I've had this heated discussion, Valerie, too, with fellow Seahawks fans, and I respect their opinion. We are not going to be drafting late, like 6 or 7. No way. Pete's going to see some of these guys, and you've listed some of these guys. So, Bryce Young, no, it's not going to be him. CJ Stroud, I don't think so. You know, in the first round, the first couple rounds, we're going to take more elite talent there. But once you get into the like that second round pick, or maybe even that second round pick, and you really like one of these QBs and think they would mesh with the team that we have in the gel, and they could be the future QB, then you start looking there, right? So it's not going to be late round. Why would they miss? They got tons of capital. The Seattle Seahawks can get a Hall of Fame player out of a 5th round pick. You know, they're going to take who they like and they think is going to have the best vibe and learn the best with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. And for all we know, they could still see Drew Lock as that dude. You don't know what Pete is going to do. You don't know what's going on. This offseason has proved to all of us Seahawks fans, diehard, the whole NFL, the whole narrative is that these are professional coaches that analyze players and talent evaluation on an elite level, and they see things that we do not see. We see Drew Lock go into a preseason game and just throw some picks with his third-string players coming off of COVID, and you throw this guy out of the window. You just don't know. But from what I think, what if Geno Smith balls out for us for a couple years and Drew Lock becomes the guy, man? It's like, it's crazy to think that, but who knows, right? Maybe this is all just well beyond our comprehension. You win that argument, Valerie. Hands down, you win that argument because, you know, maybe it's not 1st or 2nd round, but, you know, if we get a crazy high round pick, from the Broncos here, and which looks like it's going to happen, and someone like Will Levis falls into your lap or something like that, shit. If you got, pardon me, if you got all those picks, go crazy, man. I do not want to see us fall into mediocrity at all, but I do not think we will at all. I hope that was valuable feedback to your argument, Val. Um, but that's what you got to go tell him. See, Optimus Prime says um, we do it in the second round. That's what I think. And I think we do something like Anthony Richardson or Hendon Hooker, someone like that. You know, someone with elite talent. We look past the age or the school, and we just look at something like elite talent and something that could really just create like a new level of NFL offense, like they've tried to do with Lamar Jackson, and they've done with Mahomes. But I don't know which direction they go in. I'm always fascinated to look at what they are, who these guys are. Um, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit here to the rest of y'all. Um, James Washington had a friend of mine call me. Oh, sorry, my bad. I went too far. I want to get to every single thing. I like to get to every single comment, man. That's what we do here. Um, No guilt for doubting our draft. This is Daniel W. So for Sajan, how you doing, bro? Says, what up, West plus Hawks? Yeah, exactly. What up, everybody? And then Daniel W. says, no guilt for doubting our drafts. We're sucking for years. Gino struggled last year. Keep opinions moving like water. Credit where it's due. Criticism where it's due. But all willing to adjust. Exactly. That's what it is, man. It's a love thing. It's not a hate thing. It's okay to be wrong. You know, the Seahawks are surprising themselves. That's fine. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And Gino really struggled in the end of games last year. You know what I mean? But maybe that was due to the protections, partially too. Now you see he's getting past bro, and he's, you know, it's just awesome. Kai Nalu says, I didn't think what Jalen said about it. I didn't like what Jalen said about his team and them being dogs. You got to filter out what you say about others, especially your teammates. We're watching these teams break down. We're watching these bought and paid for teams that are falling from grace kind of break down. I'm not talking about the Niners or anything, but yeah, we are seeing it from the Rams. We are seeing it from some of these really big name teams. You're seeing Aaron Rodgers have just critical meltdowns. You know, that game, like, how is Aaron Rodgers blaming people for the ball, him throwing the ball off people's heads? That's not somebody's route. Underthrowing a route, throwing a ball to Aiden Hutchinson is inexcusable. That's on you, bro. You need to be a better leader. Um, and not taking away from that guy's legacy, but man, like, you know, it's just hard to watch that stuff, man. Trying to crush these guys, like, big up your team, pick your team up, win or lose, man. You know, that's what you gotta be. That's what you gotta be to like really cement how I feel about you. Like, even if you're getting a gold jacket, how do I feel about you as an individual? Like I feel so good about like the legacy of a lot of players just based on their guts and determination. Let's look at a little history. I'll get back to this. I got like Reggie White, legendary interior rusher, one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. But what makes him the greatest? You know, I see Aaron Donald freak out, smashing people, hitting people with his helmets, getting into bar fights, spazzing. And I'm not saying he's a bad dude. He's probably like, you know, has anger management problems or whatever. But like, that doesn't make me like Aaron Donald. I don't like. He doesn't care if I like him, but it doesn't make me. It doesn't. Make me feel more like he's more legendary, because when I look at the NFL films, it's like a grain of salt. Like, why couldn't you control your emotions? What are you so mad about? You know, you need to attack that part of yourself before you can truly elevate as a man. I hope Aaron Donald doesn't watch this. I think Aaron Donald, honestly, I think he's a great dude, but it's things like that really make you a leader. And you know, I hope that person can control that type of anger just for their life. You know what I mean? Just so they don't snap out later in life. Like if CTE hits and stuff, you don't snap out and kill somebody. You know, and that's the sad part about football as well. Let's see what's going on here. James Watson says, so many are going to be attracted again to want to come and play for the Seattle Seahawks this offseason. Yes. So when we come into some money here, some players are going to walk and going to make money elsewhere and stuff, but we're going to get some big name free agents if we want them. You know, and we're going to be able to trade for some people in the offseason if we want them. And, Magical free agents become available when they think you're in a Super Bowl window. You're in a low income tax state. Bruce Irvin, you're calling Bruce Irvin. You're calling Tariq. You're a young player. You're like, how is it over there? They're like, yo, they treat us like gold over here, man. They got salmon in the cafeteria. You ever had a real coho salmon before? Yo, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's awesome. People are gonna want to come here now. We're on the up. We're on the upstroke. You don't want to go to where Jalen Ramsey's trying to clown you for not making a play. Mad Bro says, "Sup, my guy." To you, Mad to Syjan. There, guys are communicating there. James Watson said, "Had a friend of mine call me delusional for thinking this was going to be 10 wins. I told him I know my team, but I'm delusional." Yeah, exactly. You saw my channel, man. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole video just on comment section of the early videos. Broncos fans comments. There's some great ones. Niners fans, even Seahawks fans are like, dude, you're stupid. Seattle's a 2-win team at best. It's my favorite. The crow is served in many ways. Crow a la mode. You guys ever seen Forrest Gump when he's like shrimp stew, shrimp cocktail, shrimp a la mode, shrimp scampi? That's how many types of crow us Seahawks fans get to serve the rest of the NFL. It's really awesome. We got some other stuff going on here. Let me get back to basics. Sorry. I'm going back to that comment. Yeah, we're not delusional. Kai Nalu says, Raja that. Yeah. Saijin says, Wes, I don't let them report on the Hawks. I'd rather be the surprise instead. Exactly. Winter South says, draft Hendon Hooker, love Hendon Hooker, great kid. They say he's too old. That could be a steal. Look at what Tennessee is doing. He's a reason. They've got great momentum. I love his mentality. He would be a perfect guy to work with Geno Smith. Absolutely. I'm starting to get sold on the possibility of Hendon Hooker, even though he's a little bit older. What's older now? Geno Smith is 32 years old. He looks like a rookie out there. Not a rookie, but he looks like a seasoned player with a lot of youth in him. It's about your mentality. Sajid says, hit those likes for my God people. Yeah, thank you, Sajid. I always appreciate you doing that. Kai Nalu says, yeah, Kobe and D-Lou is smooth. 100% smooth. They're smooth blockers, for sure. Remember, says, Kobe helped a lot for the closeout touchdown. For sure. It's just facts, man. It's just facts. That guy's just rumbling. He's special in his own way. And they didn't bring him in to be the guy he is. He just adjusted his game because he's like, if I'm going to make it in this league, I better become an elite blocker. But don't sleep on that guy's red zone ability. Mad Bro says, what's up? So Rusty Shackelford says, yo, what's good, hot game? What's up, Rusty Shackelford? Great name, by the way. What's up with you, man? I hope you're doing really well. Michael Cam says, I think Seattle will harass Brady all game long. I agree with that. I've been saying that. They'll force him into traps to throw interceptions, and Pete and Clint will take away the run game for sure. Waldron will tire out the Bucs defense with long, methodical drives. I mean, I think that's the plan. If everything goes to plan, that's great. But that's a smart coaching staff over there. They're going to try to do some unique things. But I just don't know if they have the personnel and speed offensively. It's about speed. Like, they don't have the speed to really outrun these guys. You know what I mean? Can you really get the yak? If DeAndre Hopkins can't, who can? You know what I mean? That's crazy like that. Michael Camp says, drives of 13 plays, 70 yards, and 6-7 minutes long. Exactly what I'm thinking. Keep Brady cold, out of rhythm, and on the sidelines. That's the key for the win. P will motivate the guys because they'll be facing the GOAT for sure. And a big challenge for those guys. Pete Carroll. They're really going to try to get confidence off of these young guys playing somebody they obviously would look up to. Umabro Go Hawk says we're going to win a five-game win streak this week. It's possible for sure. This could be one of those legendary seasons, guys. It really could. Rusty Chekhov says, oh yeah, the next game, why are we underdogs? That's so delusional for Vegas. I think that Bucks can match Seattle. And, I've said it many times. Vegas will have us as underdogs until we are a seven-win team. Valerie's, her QB question and her stuff was really awesome. Umabro Gohawk says, I agreed to take a QB and sit behind Geno and challenge him. Yep, for sure. Always compete, right? That's what we do. Sajin says, we are not going to get any guys we want in the draft. What do you mean by that? I'm interested to know what you mean by that. Kai Nalu says, competition with Geno and Drew for sure. Have a great quarterback room, have a great tight end room, have a great receiver room, have a great everything room. If we can get a dominant linebacker room going, Jordan's leading the league in tackles, but if we can get a savage linebacker and a Cam Chancellor type guy, that's who I think we need to round out this defense and a young safety to push Quandre and Jamal. It's going to be nasty. Valerie says he had to admit I was right about Rocker in the second round. He thought that was a waste. I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that actually back in the comments section. Wasted pick. You draft the next Barry Sanders, and that's a wasted pick. Should have gone 1 overall. Roger says, imagine Drew learning like Geno did. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? Like, history repeats itself, and maybe that's been the plan. Rusty Shackelford says, you think Geno is worth 3 solid years? If we were able to win one playoff game, took us from 2010 to 2013 to winnable. I do based on the fact that it's just kind of like a magical connection of Shane Waldron's offense with Smith. I do think you have contingency and you draft, a quarterback that could really push Smith, and maybe he's already on our team. But ultimately, I do think Geno has earned a paycheck with the Seattle Seahawks, and I don't see Geno falling off. Like, what he's found is his game, and it's a once in a life, maybe twice in a lifetime thing. Kurt Warner, but this is the other case that we're gonna make a case. Steve Young, Kurt Warner, and now Geno Smith. Like, you can't take it away from him, man. It is what it is. This isn't a fluke. Like, the game recognition, the balls he's throwing, the clarity, his command at the offensive line has been dominant. Yeah, so we're eye to eye. Absolutely, Valerie. Absolutely. I would give 2 years. Yeah, and I think that's all they'll do, Sajid. I just think they'll give him a bunch of money. They'll be like, thank you so much, because he's brought a bunch of money back to the team. Here's a front-loaded contract. You can get out of it next year, basically, if you want to. Somebody wants to offer you $120 million or more. Congratulations to you, man. You know what I mean? You're already a Seahawks legend, man. I'm about to get a Geno Smith throwback, bro. I just don't want CS get a QB we want. I just don't see us getting the QB we want. Interesting. Geno fits our scheme, so right now we'll draft one soon in the new year. Yeah, I mean, if they see somebody like that they really like, and I was watching a lot of college football as usual this year. There's some guys that got a lot of talent, but I say why not? Why not do it when you could get like an Anthony Richardson or a KJ Jefferson falling to you in a mid-round situation? Why not take a stab, right? Because there's nothing wrong with that, unless you're looking at it like, okay, let's actually win this thing right now because that linebacker is there, and But I do think they'll take one because there's enough of them to take. And my 2.0 video on that will be a video in the coming weeks. You can check out my 1.0 video on quarterbacks I think Seattle will take, and I also have a video out about players I think Seattle will take that are not quarterbacks, not related to them not drafting a quarterback. Kai Nellis says if Geno wins the NFC West, yeah, he is worth signing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't. I already think you can't. In this, you can't turn a blind eye to what he's doing. He's top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Guys get paid way more that do way less. Rusty Shackelford said 2 years sounds right. Only to say 3 years. It was for us to work out a way. SB facts, yeah, man, for sure. Winder South says, I think Jags will get Bryce Young or Raiders. Get CJ Stroud and Lions. Also, Panthers will have a draft pick before us. I hope the Broncos don't win any games so we get a top pick. Yeah, it's already looking good. Like, the Broncos aren't going to change overnight, man. You know what I mean? Like, I like to think, like, Russ does have the ability to pull out some games if they can get healthy, but there's deeper issues on that team than Russell Wilson. It's about their overall offensive capability right now. It's deeper than Russell Wilson. Yeah, they're a team that's poorly coached as well. They don't know how to turn on the juice or call plays. It is what it is. What's going down here? So let me continue. Rusty Shackelford said right. So let's see. James Watson says I could see them picking Locke, keeping Locke, and not drafting a QB this year for sure. Locke has the talent he needs just to learn to master the system. I'm team Drew Brew. I'd be happy. And what Pete had told us is kind of the facts. He was like, I have 2 great QBs here. Geno has more command of the system, but Drew Lock is very talented. We're not cutting Drew Lock. They didn't let go of Drew Lock. If you notice, watch Seahawks games. Drew Lock is completely engaged on the sideline. He's learning everything. He's talking to Geno Smith after every down and distance, basically. And he's learning, and he's going to make him a better quarterback, if not for us, for somebody else. Drew Lock is learning the game, right, Matt? Like, it's no joke. Side gen, SB, until we can beat the Rams and 49ers and Rams consistently, no Super Bowl. I only agree to that to a degree, right? Because those are the prove-it games. I think the Niners game is the biggest game, December 15th, for sure. The Rams are super hit and miss right now. So, But yeah, let's do 1 week at a time, right? Anthony Robles says big week in Germany. It absolutely is, man, and that's what we've been diving in on here. Winter South says, or get Will Anderson, that crazy linebacker for sure, but that's like the number one overall pick, right? Um, Rusty Shackelford says Rams. I think so. Niners are scary, but we got them at home next week. Yeah, and I don't know if anyone's like scary to Seattle anymore, and we're never going to be afraid of the Niners. Like the Seahawks are not the team that's going to back down or be like, "Ooh, the Niners are coming." You know, if anything, they're going to try to save the whole playbook just to prove a point in that game. So if people are getting really crazy about like, it does suck to like combat Debo Samuel and and CMC and Ayuk, and they're extremely talented, Juice, and they're going to get back the defensive line as well. I'm not a stupid fucking dude, you know what I mean? That's like the most dominant roster, top to bottom in the NFL. But I will say this, like I said last night, their quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo, and he is not mobile. And their O line is, even if they improve, they're gonna be susceptible to Garoppolo making turnovers. And Garoppolo can make bad turnovers at the wrong time. You can win a football game. None of those guys are really crazy deep vertical threats outside of Ayuk because of the reason of Jimmy is limited in deep throwing. He's a great intermediate passer for sure. I give him all the props there, but you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. We've watched these guys play a lot, and maybe they just come out and go crazy. Christian McCaffrey is that good. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking, pardon me, I'm not stupid, man. But yeah, I'm not afraid of that team in any way because we have some stupid talent too, man. Ken Walker could win a game himself. You know what I mean? Like by himself. He's done it multiple times. It seems like already. Um, you Mavro says, as soon as I seen that, I knew they would fall. You don't talk to D-Hawk like that. Yeah, you don't do that, man. Sajid says, in Munich, Hawks versus Bucks, what say you guys? Yeah, so Sajid, I got the Seahawks winning this game, scoring over 30 and really limiting the Bucks, man. Hawks, K Dub Trey is not too nice. He is too sick, bro. He's too fired. I'm easily putting money on Seattle and Germany. I mean, it's not a gimme game, guys. It's a away game, a ton of narratives. Like I say every week, don't be upset if Seattle drops a game at all because that can happen. You know, we're on a 4-game winning streak or whatever have you. You know, we could drop a game to Tom Brady or something. It won't be the end of the world. But as long as we play our game and develop these young players and we play sound football, we're in every game. More and more QBs aren't being leaders. I think Kyler is the worst of them. Dude's hypocritical. I think there's worse than Kyler Murray. At least Kyler Murray is himself. You know what I mean? But yeah, him yelling at D Hop on the sideline in that time of the game, that broke them down. You know what I mean? That really broke them down. Kai, you're right there. He could be better, man. He could take it upon himself, but it doesn't look like he really enjoys the game at this point in time. Kai Nellis says, "Yep, Roger. That true leadership is an action and grace, like Tyler. Yeah, Tyler Lockett, true leader. Um, Quandre Diggs, true leader. After that fumble Ryan Neal caused, I watched that highlight quite a few times. They picked Kyler Murray off the ground. Him and Josh Jones. They picked Kyler Murray off the ground because it looked like Kyler was hurt. They offered him his hand. That's another thing I love about this specific team. We've got a lot of heart and integrity, and they're true to the game. True to the game for you old Master P fans. You mad, bro? Go Hawks. I think it's not going to be close. That more underdog talk for this game. Yeah, it's funny. Like, oh, Seattle's gonna have a tough time. Like, maybe Brady's been slipping and throwing the ball towards the ground for some reason. I also feel like he's just hanging out for another year, so he gets divorced before he accepts his. Yeah, who knows, man. Who knows what Brady we're gonna see. Reflect the Sun says, "Hi y'all, getting that spinny thing. Is it working? Is it working for others? Yeah, I don't know. It seems good. My stream seems to be working. Good to see you, Reflect the Sun. Sajid says, man, we taking this one. I feel that way. Heck yeah, Sajid, keep the steamroll going. Yup. Rusty Shackelford says, yes, it's live from me, son. Oh, weird, refreshing. Yeah, man, my streams are usually shaky. Rusty Shackelford says, easy. Fournette looks so tired of running. Yeah, and he's going to be even more tired when the lumber gets laid down, right? Rusty Shackelford says, Tyreek, 2 interceptions on Brady. That would be a crazy narrative, bro. If Tyreek goes pick 6, man, that's going to have him on. Whew, trajectory, or Kobe, um, or Mike. Umabro says, "Go Hawks back in the days." Rusty Shackleton says, "I bet you're pumped, man. The energy you had in the start of the season was hope, but I can see now we truly have the team amongst us. I'm with you, brother. You feel me? People thought I was crazy, Rusty. They're like, yeah, this guy's just trying to be hyped for a channel. I started the channel because I was this hyped. I saw something, man. I saw something in this." Reflect the Sun says, "Usual Will showed a story." Um, that Brady and Giselle invested 650 million into the bank reps crypto FTX. Yikes! Whoa, that's crazy if that's true. Germany loves Seahawks. Home advantage. They love Brady. One person compared to 53. Yeah, Germany is definitely Hawks country. Your name says you know what's up. Legend. Yeah, to whoever that is, man, for sure. Um, let's see what's going on here. I miss Cam Chancellor. He's laid out linemen, knocking out games. Somebody put me on JL Skinner, a player out of Boise. Whoa, this guy can hit. Go and watch his reel. Brady may be distracted by losing 650 million. Wow. I can't wait to read that article. Rusty Shackelford said, "I miss him too. Bam Bam Cam. That was my guy, man. Well, maybe my favorite Seahawk." Um, Reflect the Sun says, "Love Camp should have been the MVP of Super Bowl 48. Absolutely facts." Umabro says, "I've been Umabro on that day." Yeah. Rusty Shackelford says, "Right, Malcolm Smith, dope interception." Yeah, he wasn't the MVP, but Malcolm got it. Shout out to him. Malcolm was under fire. Yeah, he was really smart. He was always around the ball. Rusty says, "So almost 10 years, man. Those were the days. The deep ball, Sidney Rice to close it out, too." Oh, man, that was crazy. That play action. Peyton was the MVP of Super Bowl 48. Thank you, Peyton. Valerie says, "Gino had one thing Russ never could, but wanted desperately MVP discussion." That one stings, man. That one stings to read, Valerie. Rusty Shackelford says Malcolm may be a bit of a journeyman after all. Yeah, for sure. He did become a journeyman, but he was still a good player wherever he went. Drew Lock needs to get better, but does deserve the chance. Yeah, and you know what? He's a humble kid, and he's done what he's supposed to do and humbled himself, and he's going to get more shots in the NFL. Seems like Malcolm fit in really well. He did. Yeah, those teams would have been played Malcolm more. For sure. Got to get to work. Listen, love your show. Thank you, Valerie. Much love as always, and I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you supporting me with that super. Dan says playing in Lumen Field is different from Levi Stadium. We'll get them this time. It will be different. It'll be different energy, even though they're adding so much to that arsenal. I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I think in order for Seahawks to lose games right now, teams have to go all out and be completely healthy. Maybe they will be. Rusty Shackelford said that safety, though. That was a time where we took the lead. Yeah, exactly. That safety was crazy. That like almost did it right out of the gate. Um, he did reflect. You remember it says Reed Payton. Yeah, that was super funny. Last dude, you said the F word, $5 in the jar. I think I said the S word. $5 in the tip jar for me. Any super chat that comes in, I replace it right in the cussing tip jar. Winter South said we are 30-18 series against the Niners. I don't think we're gonna win that game. Psych. Yeah, it feels like it. We kind of got their number like McVay had ours, right? I got the second chance $5 scratch off ticket and send it to the Powerball drawing. Says Powerball. If you win Powerball, Reflect the Sun, buy a quarter of the Seahawks. You have no money left, you just buy a quarter of the Seahawks. Free garlic fries for everybody. Hawks at home against 49ers. I don't think the defense is shaken in fear over Jimmy. He passed. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Let's just put it at that. It's going to be a great game. Call me old-fashioned, but yelling at your coach in public is a big no. You can't do that. You can't yell at your coaching. It's just not good. Anthony Robles, this is a statement game. Won't be upset if we lose, but I like us. Yeah, it is so fun because we're still underdogs, and you know, teams don't want to play with us, man. Winter South, we will win division. I don't see it. Not 49ers beating us. I mean, it is possible they could, man. Let's not be crazy about this, but it will take Jimmy Garoppolo throwing. And that's weird. Jimmy Garoppolo, his style of throws, man, against our secondary could get really sketchy. Kyler bad right now because Modern Warfare is he's playing that COD, throwing them lines. Kumar, Kyler, yes sir. Kyler said, Niner, we will have to scheme. We have to play really savvy and contain. Yeah, we're gonna have to play really well. I don't wait for the. I can't wait for that game. My dad is a longtime Niners fan. Yeah, some of my best friends are Niners fans. Don't hate me. It is what it is. It's just because that's just how it panned out. We are a healthy young team. Facts. You mad, bro? Winter Sun says Kyler Murray doesn't care about football anymore. Just COD, probably. Rusty says after the game, your dad will say, "How? How? How did you guys do that?" My man Bowling says, I just feel that Kyler is so egotistical. Yes, he sees himself, but dude is definitely disconnected. Yeah, and it's showing. Bowling, a couple of losing seasons will fix the ego right quick. Does James. Rusty Shackelford says, shoutouts when Cam jumped over the O-line to block that kick. That was crazy. Did you see Russ waiting in the play card on his sleeve? Yeah, that was weird. I got my name on the day Brady. Sorry, you got my name on. You got your name on the day that Brady did that, or Sherm did that to Brady. Valley said, "Do you know Cam Advil, April, KJ Sherm are working with our young guys?" I did, and I highlighted in one video that like you seeing those vets coming back to the team and just doing their one-on-ones, and look at what it's translating to. You know what I mean? They can talk in different than coaches. Tariq the Freak Woolen. Hell yeah, I think he just goes by Reek now. We had Avatar for a while, but I guess it's just Reek. Um, Article on Brady from August 7th, 2020. Thank you. I'm gonna look at that. That's crazy. We lose if CMC throws TDs. He did versus the Rams. Are your shows late because you work late? Nah, it's just timing. It's just timing sometimes. And like I don't like cutting in on other people's shows and kind of do my own thing. Like being underdogs. Let's go. Keep working. We not gone yet. Yeah, we not gone at all, bro. Um, that should be on a shirt, green and blue. Hell yeah, for sure. I'm stoned and misspelling. This guy said he's stoned. Rusty Shackelford says, Reek, I like it. Thanks for the update. I think it's Reek. On that note, man, I've been yabbering for so long, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. You guys are really doing good for this channel. Let's get this channel to 2,000 subscribers. Um, as many people watching it, only a few people have been subscribing lately, and that's okay. But like, let's get this channel up, man. Share it with your friends. Show your friends that are Seahawks fans. Say, hey, man, this is a real dude that really follows the Seattle Seahawks and is really passionate about this team. I think you should follow this guy's channel. That'd be cool for me because I want it to be organic. I want people to like that really love the team to follow the channel as well, not just anybody. But man, that'd be dope if you guys would just share it with other fans. Man, shout out to you, Reflect the Sun, for the super there. That's really, really dope. Thank you so much. I always appreciate your commentary here. Thanks for dropping me that article there because I'm really interested in that stuff too, to kind of see what happens there with like extracurricular stuff to a degree. Rusty Shackelford, we were all pumped being called losers when you're not. It's the Hawk spirit. Yeah, we've been used to being bad for many, many years before the Wilson Carroll era, so not even a problem. Shit, I didn't realize it was that late. Yeah, exactly, all of us. So who you got on fantasy? That's a whole nother video, man. I'll break it down to you in another video. I'll post when I'm going to do my fantasy live stream. And mahalo to you, brother. Mahalo. Shout out to Hawaii. Shout out to Washington, Oregon, all everywhere, wherever you're from, California, overseas, wherever you're tuning in from. I got lots of love and respect for you guys too, ladies and gentlemen. I really love y'all. Thank you for joining me tonight and listening to me talk my ear off about the Seattle Seahawks and get it all off of my chest. More to come. I'm going to keep this channel going. It's Seahawktimus Prime. You got it right, Shackelford. It's your boy Seahawktimus Prime. You can call me Wes, whatever floats your boat. But you're talking to a real Seahawks fan like you, not just some pundit out here trying to tell you and get the likes off of what the current narrative is, because we've been down with the Seahawks when we were absolutely a horrible team. And now we're here, and this era is continuing. Not a huge 10-year rebuild. We're in we took 1 year off, and now we're back, better, liver than ever, and it's scary. I reloaded. You guys ever seen Carlito's Way? Okay, I reloaded. I'm gonna do a clip of that. 5-week rebuild. Let them know. You're singing my song, brother. You already know, guys. You already know. A 5-week rebuild. Seattle has a full 5-week rebuild until they're Super Bowl champions again. Okay, I realize it. You motherfuckers think you're big time. Fucking with me, you're gonna die. Big time. All right, guys. Peace. That was a great stream. I really appreciate you. And as always, it's go Hawks. You know what time it is.